up, though? You kicking it with KC MC, baby? Let's get into it, man. Over a decade on the radio. Let's go. Hey, man, we first talking about this whole situation with Florida. Since they banned Black history in the schools, they say black churches are teaching it now. Let's discuss that. And we also asking, do you send your kids to school even when they're sick? What do you consider sick? Because they saying that you should send your kids to school. We're going to talk about all that and a whole bunch more. That's coming up. You kicking it with KC, baby. Let's go. All right, man, this first topic is coming from NBCnews.com. A spat of education bans Florida churches are taking black history into their own hands. Approximately 100 individuals spanning various age groups and racial backgrounds gathered at the Agape Perfecting Praise and Worship Center in Orlando for a Black history lesson led by LaVon Bracy, a director at Faith in Florida. The initiative mirrored a nearby nearly 300 churches across Florida, aimed to counteract education restrictions introduced by Governor Ron DeSantis, which limit discussions on race and history in public schools. Faith in Florida's toolkit, offering resources and guidance on black history, has become instrumental in facilitating these lessons. The involvement of churches deeply rooted in black community activism underscores a long-standing tradition of social justice efforts within the black church, resisting erasure, and advocating for historical education. There's a problem in Florida. They don't want you talking about black history, and it's Black History Month, so they don't give a damn about what's happening right now. Now, the thing is, first and foremost, are they wrong for banning black history? I would say they're not wrong for banning it, but why aim at black history? It says they actually banned race and history being taught in schools. Race and history in public schools. It limits discussion, I should say. So black history, I guess to a certain degree, is one of them. But the point is, black churches taking the leadership to say we're going to teach the kids that. This is the direction that the black churches should be going anyway, by the way, as well as the black households. We should be teaching that within our community, not leaving it up to the schools to make that decision to teach us about black history, because they're going to do it in a systematic way, institutionalized way. And then we got the nerves to complain about all they talk about is Malcolm X and Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. Well, why don't you tell them about everybody else, Marcus Garvey and everybody else that was doing things for civil rights movement that wasn't really talked about? How about we get into that? You see what I'm saying? So I agree that the black churches should be teaching this. The black households should also be teaching black history. We should not be leaving it to the schools. As a matter of fact, here's a great idea. A great black history program for schools. If you are local in Michigan, take them to the Detroit Charles H. Wright African American Museum. Literally the best museum I've ever been to. Literally takes you through the origins of Africa and African people and tribes, how they used to live, and takes you through the entire journey of the African slave trade. Tells you that Africans were selling slaves. Yes, black people in Africa were selling slaves to the white people. They actually have a whole statue of the two making the interaction at a table, selling off slaves for beans and jewelry and all types of goofy stuff. Yes, black people sold slaves. That's the type of truth we need to be telling each other. And that type of truth is told at an African American museum. Now, if you don't have that near you, then maybe you should be teaching that within the churches, or take them to a nearby African American museum. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments, call into the show, 313-466-4386. Switching up the topics also. I want to talk about the second topic, which is coming from apnews.com. That's the Associated Press.com. Talking about these kids being sick. During the pandemic, schools enforced strict illness policies, leading to confusion among parents like Tracy Dorsey Hollins, whose daughter often stayed home due to minor symptoms. With varying guidelines across districts, some advocate for children to attend school even with mild illnesses, aiming to minimize chronic absences. California shifted its approach to include circumstances where slightly unwell children can still attend class, recognizing the broader impact of continued absences on education and well-being. However, Implementing these changes and ensuring consistency remains a challenge, particularly in underserved communities disproportionately affected by the pandemic. Even if you are sick, they're saying to a certain degree of, or what they say, some type of slightly unwell children, they want you to come to class because it's messing with your attendance. If you got a lingering cough that's been around for 3 months, usually people say, if you sick, go home, even slightly. We don't want to catch that and take that to our household. But California, they're like, that 3-month cough, it's all right. You're still able to live. All of this is a cough. If you get somebody else, so what? But we don't want you to be held behind a whole grade because you missed half the school year because of cough. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with just taking kids to school. Matter of fact, this is what I will say. I do agree with them going if they do have something minor. If it ain't nothing that looks like they're physically ill, then let them go ahead and stay in class. I'm with that part. That's what I will say. But it is kind of hard to judge other than that. How you gonna sit up here and say slightly unwell children? What are you basing that on? The temperature? The temperature of the child? And why is it up to the school to kind of set these guidelines on an unwell children? Y'all should be trying to protect all children, to be honest with you. You should keep enforcing that. It should be up to the parent to let their kid go to school. Now, whether or not you let them in the school is completely different, but y'all should have the right. Y'all should be protecting other students. You know how the other kids' immune system is. They sit up there eating honey buns, candies, and juices, and all types of crazy stuff. You see what I'm saying? But that's just what I want to speak on. I think, yeah, some days these kids be extra soft. They should go to class and school anyway. You ain't really that sick. You really just sick of going to school, and we all was sick of going to school. But you gotta stick it out. Other than that, man, the school, I don't think y'all should be easing on. I think it should be up to the parent to let the kid go to school sick. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments, call into the show. 313-466-4386. We about to switch it up, man. We're gonna talk about music and the audio audit if you don't mind. So listen to a couple projects in the audio audit first and foremost. We checked out this project. This came out a while ago, January 25th. From Lyrical Lemonade. It's a compilation album with a bunch of different artists. Lyrical Lemonade is a brand that usually is popularized. They specialize in like making music videos for mainly hip hop artists that I know of, but I know they do a lot. But anyway, this project itself, give me a second, I can tell you exactly. It was, like I said, it was a compilation. That's what I will say. It was a compilation. I think it was only like 12 tracks. It was less than an hour. I got you exactly right here. Here we go. Slow internet. We're going to have to fix that. All Is Yellow, Lyrical Lemonade. Overall, this is what I tell you. Not too bad as a project. It gave me a little bit of the lyrical stuff from a couple artists. It gave me a little bit of the newer sound is what I will say for the younger kids. It was 14 tracks, 42 minutes. So just within that 30 to 45 minute range that I like and prefer when it comes to these projects. That way we don't get too bored if it's too long, and if it's too short, we don't even take it serious to be an album or project. 3 songs stood out to me. Say Your Grace featuring Lil Yachty and Chief Keef. I don't know why, but it did stand out to me. Doomsday featuring Cordae and Juice WRLD. That was hard. Them young boys was spitting. And then you had Doomsday Part 2 featuring Eminem. This was the track everybody was talking about where he dissed Benzino and Coi Leray. I take it for what it is. And I'm somebody who loved Eminem growing up. Kind of shifted as I got older, but I loved Eminem growing up. Still like him as an artist, but as far as him really taking shots at Benzino and Coi Leray, I get it responding, but I couldn't take it serious, bro. I couldn't take it serious. It's just Eminem talking crap, bro. But let me know what you think about Lyrical Lemonade, All Is Yellow as a project. Go off in the live chat in the comments, call into the show, 313-466-4386. Did have another project that I did check out also. This is from an artist that we all used to listen to heavy in high school, Soulja Boy. He dropped a project called Swag 6 on YouTube Music. No endorsement, by the way. This was 20 tracks, 46 minutes, just within that 30 to 45 minute range that I like. We all love, by the way. So I was happy to be like, oh snap, I'm listening to Soulja Boy, and I'm first cut it on. First track was straight. 25 drop, if I believe was the first song on there. I'm like, oh, I find myself, man, doing the lean with it, rock with it, the chicken head, all types of goofy stuff. But then it kind of got boring and repetitive after a while. But I will say a couple songs did stand out to me. 25 drop, Swag Like Me, In Love With a Bad Bitch, More Money, More Problems. Those were the ones those 4 out of 20 songs that stood out to me. That's 25%. Not the best shooting percentage if you ask me. But I was shocked to even know that. I was like, wow, man, Soulja Boy is still out here doing his thing. He's still making projects, and every now and then you'll probably catch a few songs that are some bops off his project. He creating vibes, man. Shout out to Soulja Boy, bro. A man of my generation, bro. Doing his thing, still setting tone. Y'all better put some respect on his name, man. Shout out to Soulja Boy, Swag 6. It was alright. It was a little bit better than I anticipated, but I really didn't have too much to anticipate, if I'm being honest. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat, in the comments, call into the show, 313-466-4386. Last project that we listened to from the hometown kid, I Swear Vezo from Detroit. Live from the 6 on YouTube Music, no endorsement. 13 tracks, 30 minutes. Within that 30 to 45 minute range. If it feels any short, about 5 minutes short, I was like, is this really an album project? 13 tracks, 30 minutes, not too bad at it. 4 songs stood out to me. So we talking about 4 out of 12, which is about a third, little bit less than a third, so I'm not mad at it. It was class of 2014, or 2024, excuse me. Projects, different day, I'm the one. 4 tracks stood out to me. Those are some pretty nice bangers, man. Now, what I will say about Detroit artists all together, I gotta get this off my chest. Detroit artists all together, it seems like they're all starting to go with the same sound. Like, now the beats and the production usually have the same sound. It's hard for me to describe right now, but as far as the artists, they're starting to go into that same. And I'm saying when I come this up, I don't really care. Like that lazy just out of the bed sound. I don't care to hear that, bro. Put some type of effort into it, bro. I think Babyface Ray's the first one, to my knowledge, to sound like that. Maybe it was I Swear Vezo, maybe it's somewhere, I don't know, but all that, I don't even care. It sounds like they go in a booth like this. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? Do you want to be here? Yeah, man. But anyway, I Swear Vezo live from the 6. Shout out to I Swear Vezo, dog. Nothing to him against him or Babyface Ray, nobody. I Swear Vezo actually got a bus on 6 Mile, McNichols in Detroit, and paid for it for all citizens for free to ride it, both east and west, all day when this album came out, when this project live from the 6. So that was pretty dope. Let me know what you think about that project. Go off in the live chat, in the comments, call into the show, 313-466-4386. See, look, I'm trying to do 2 things at the same time, man. Let's switch it up, man. All right, man, we about to talk about movies that we saw recently in Corn Stream, you know what I mean? All right, first and foremost, yeah, let's just close that right now. That's taking a lot of time. All right, so scenes I saw. First movie I saw, Underdogs, with the OG Snoop Dogg, man. Shout out to Snoop Dogg. This is Snoop Dogg and Mike Epps, by the way. This was, what, an hour, 39 minutes? It was like, it was a comedy sports. All right, Jaden Jennings, a.k.a. 2 Cents. He played by Snoop Dogg. He a washed up pro football player, or former football player, who hit rock bottom when he sentenced to do community service, coaching the Underdogs, an unruly pee-wee football team in his hometown. He seasoned mostly opportunity to rebuild his public image, but in this process he may just turn his life around and rediscover his love of the game. It sounds corny as hell, if I'm being honest, and it's Snoop Dogg's version of Ice Cube's Are We There Yet? But it's very, very graphic. Them kids is cussing, Snoop smoking, and they cussing up in this mug. So it's the X-rated version. It's also like the X-rated version of Major Payne, is what I will say. It's literally probably like the X-rated version of Major Payne. A former who's a superstar or whatever, had to do something for the kids, for the time being until he got an opportunity. Then he ended up turning back to go back to the kids. Literally that same plot and concept. So it's like Major Payne, but with a lot of cuss words and a lot more explicit. But I have to watch it. We gotta support Uncle Snoop, bro. Mike Epps, one of my favorite comedians, just opened up a comedy club in Detroit. I gotta support this, bro. So Underdogs on Amazon Prime, no endorsement. This is pretty nice. I actually would recommend it, especially during Black History Month. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. Switching it up, we also did see this movie called Self-Reliance on Hulu. No endorsement, by the way. Hour 29 minutes. It was starring Jake Johnson, if you know who that is. I think he's from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Anna Kendrick, Andy Samberg, and Gator from the show Dave. When a man is offered $1 million to play a game in which hunters try to kill him, he thinks he's found the perfect loophole. They can only attack when he's alone. His only problem is that none of his friends or family believe that the game is actually real. So he's trying to team up with, just be close to strangers, meeting people on Craigslist. Like he's meeting people in the worst way. Now, what I will say is I appreciate the originality of the movie. It's not like any other movie. It's not like a sequel. It ain't bringing something back that I know of. It's directed by Jake Johnson too. So it was a pretty decent movie is what I will say as far as the originality. Funny to me, I had moments where I did laugh. And it was, I liked the concept and where it was going. I feel like if it was maybe done a little bit different, I'm gonna even lean on the fact that it's Black History Month. If it was done in the black people version, it could have been a lot funnier. Maybe with the Wayans brothers, yeah. I love the concept and the plot, but it wasn't a bad movie, I will say that. I actually will recommend it. Self-Reliance on Hulu. Go ahead and check that out, man. Like I said, I recommend that. Go off in the live chat in the comments. If you did see it, call into the chat. Call in. 313-466-4386. Last show we did see. This is like a documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop. Saw this on Netflix, no endorsement. This was, an hour, 37 minutes, a documentary starring Lionel Richie. Just talks about essentially the night of, I think the American Music Awards, if I'm not mistaken. It was the night of an awards show back in like the 80s. Sometime in the 80s, mid-80s, whatever the case may be. And Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson basically got together, wrote a song with Quincy Jones, or for Quincy Jones, that was supposed to be for famine happening in Africa at the time. They wanted to do something that would benefit and raise funds to help Africa. So it just talks about all the artists coming together right after that award show, which you would imagine. Think about it. You just got done maybe performing, or just being there sitting in the audience for a couple hours. Now they ask you to come record this song, and they're not even telling you the details afterwards. All the most famous pop stars at the time there too. I mean, it was crazy. Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, I can't even. Stevie Wonder, Sheila E., which she had an interesting part in the story too. It was a bunch of different artists, man. A bunch of white artists too that I just cannot think of off the top of my head. Nonetheless, I grew up. I'm old enough to actually remember when this song came out. Remember hearing about it. Didn't know anything about the backstory of it, but damn, no, this came out in the 80s. Excuse me, I'm not that old. Excuse me. Or was it the 90s? See, now I'm crazy. But anyway, the point is, I'm old enough to remember when this song came out, or when this song was out, and how it had all the different artists. I was like, okay. Didn't realize the magnitude of it at the time, but I was like, all right, it is what it is. So to kind of hear the backstory of it, all the different artists, the story of them, how at least one of them left. I don't know if a couple other ones left, but at least one other artist left and never even made the project. My only question about this is, where did that money go? None of these artists, you telling me these artists stayed in a studio recording booth for like 6 to 8 hours, if not more, recording this song, and did not get paid. You really want to tell me, now that I'm older and I see this and think about it, I'm thinking about that. So nobody got paid? They did all this pro bono or for the free fee. I don't necessarily believe that. Somebody got paid. Somebody got some money. Even if it was through that fundraiser, where did that money go? That's my main question. Where did that money go? Nobody does anything for free, especially the most celebrity of all celebrity superstar pop stars in music at that time. You tell me you got all them together to make a song for about 8 hours and nobody got paid. I don't believe that. Where did the money go? That's the only thing I want to ask at the end of this. But if you got answers, let me know. Other than that, let me know what you think about this project. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. Let's switch it up then, man, if you're ready. Let's talk about sports, baby. From the stands of a sports fan, my man Pots and Pans. Man, I got my dryer going on in the background, bro. I'm tripping. I ain't even gonna lie. All right, so check this out. We're not starting off with baseball. No, I mean with boxing. No, we're not doing that. We're switching to NBA immediately. First and foremost, couple things I want to talk about. The trade deadline officially did just pass just this Thursday, February 8th. But we're not getting into that right now. First and foremost, we want to talk about Steph Curry becoming the third player in 2 weeks to score 60 points in a game and lose, to hold an L along with that 60 points. Can we talk about this? Because nowadays in the NBA, the game is becoming a very high-scoring game, even to the point where one player is just easily, I don't want to say easy, excuse me, but they're scoring 60. And this is happening so frequently that it's almost like it's not an anomaly anymore. This isn't special. So what does that really say when you can score 60 and your team takes an L? What does that say about you as a player? Does that make you selfish? Are you just chasing stats personally? Or was it just a fluke? You just so happen to get hot that night. It happens. And what does it say about the fact that your team lost? Does that mean that you really weren't passing the ball? You really weren't facilitating like you should be? I think it's a testament to that. It's a testament to that. I don't think one player should be scoring that much. And taking an L at least. If you win, it is what it is. But if you score that much and your team takes an L, bro, what are we really doing? What are we really talking about? So that's the only thing I really want to think about, because it was Steph Curry. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks, by the way. It was Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker. All scored at least 60 points in the last 2 weeks. And still took an L. How devastating, bro. So I think this speaks to the players. You're being selfish. You probably should throw the ball around a little bit more. You shouldn't be trying to get 60. Unless you just get hot and y'all get that, y'all get the dub. It is what it is. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. As far as trades go, Patrick Beverley was traded from the 76ers to the Milwaukee Bucks. One thing I wanted to talk about with that was Patrick Beverley is known as like one of those villains in the NBA. Like, he always is the antagonist, picks on different players, makes them mad. He's known for being loud, doing crazy stuff like grabbing the camera from the cameraman to show the referee the replay, getting called a tech on. But with all that being said, he does that and bounce around in so many different teams. What happens when you play on the same team as somebody you really had beef with? Or I ain't gonna say beef, tension with as a player. All that stuff got to go to the wayside. That's the same thing like with DeMarcus Cousins. When people play with him when he was playing, you was just this bully guy, had this bully mentality, and then all of a sudden you ain't playing. It's like what happens there? It's crazy to think about, but I'm just like, you move from team to team. Even my favorite player, Russell Westbrook, he doesn't necessarily make enemies with people, but the way he plays can make niggas mad, bro. I'm just gonna be real. And it's like, You bounce around to so many teams, you're going to eventually have to kind of buddy up with these same players you had beef with, i.e. Russell Westbrook and Pat Bev. So it's always interesting how this is going to turn out because it's going to affect the chemistry of the team. Patrick Beverly gets traded to the Bucks now. I believe him and Damian Lillard had beef or had some type of tension, excuse me. So it's going to be interesting to see how that meshes out, especially through the less than the second half of the season at this point. I hope it works out because I want Dame to get a ring, and I'm not mad at Giannis getting another ring in Milwaukee either. I think he deserves that. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. A couple other trades we might as well just talk about real quick. Get this over with. Like we said, the Bucks. Oh, the Bucks also traded Robin Lopez to the Sacramento Kings. 76ers, they traded Pat Bev to the Bucks. The Bucks will send Cam Payne to the 76ers. Cam Payne. The Charlotte Hornets, they actually traded P.J. Washington to the Dallas Mavericks for Grant Williams and Seth Curry and a first-round draft pick. That was also interesting. The Raptors, they traded Dennis Schroeder to the Nets for Spencer Dinwiddie. Oklahoma City Thunder, they traded Trey Mann and Davis Bertans to the Charlotte Hornets for Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward was one of them players I don't think he ever really turned out to what he was going to be. And then my Detroit Pistons. First and foremost, the Utah Jazz traded Simone Fontecchio to the Pistons for a 2024 second-round draft pick. Who is that? I could easily look him up, but I don't care. Who is that? And then let's talk about the real major trade with the Pistons. They traded Alec Burks, and Bojan Bogdanovic to the freaking Knicks for Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Evan Fournier, and Ryan Arcedoun. I don't even know how to spell this. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, bro. What is the Pistons trying to do, bro? We gave up the only nigga that's consistently scoring like 25 a night, if not 30 a night, bro. Bojan Bogdanovic. I am so mad. I am so mad, bro. It's not even like we're doing good and we got some type of leverage and we go like, hey, we can work without. No. He's the reason we probably won these 7 games we won throughout the season so far. So, yeah, I feel a certain type of way. And we got a bunch of no names from the Knicks. We didn't even get none of the good people that I know of. This is coming from the stands of a sports fan perspective, by the way. Don't expect me to break down analytics and all that other crap too often. We talking about how we see the game from the stands. Other than that, bro, I'm frustrated with that as a Pistons fan. But you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with the Pistons going forward. With this new squad. We got to do something. We got to change something in order to expect different results. But let me know what you think, man. That gave me a headache. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. Speaking of the Pistons real quick, though. They're saying that Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls elected to have elective surgery on his ankle to avoid being traded from the Chicago Bulls allegedly to the Detroit Pistons. Can I speak on that real quick? Who are you as a player, as anybody, to sit up here and say, I don't want to go to such and such team, so I'm gonna go out my way to do such and such. You don't appreciate being in the league or being traded or doing whatever they feel is feasible? Get your goofy ass out of here then. End up like Carmelo or DeMarcus Cousins or Dwight Howard, who really wanted to be in the league but was out. Wasn't nobody calling them at the time. So get that treatment for a while and then see if you wouldn't mind going to the Pistons. And I say that to say, that speaks on a lot of these players' actual competitiveness. None of these players really have real competitiveness anymore. They just sit up here and want to go to the most favorable team that wins the championship. Nobody has that Kobe mentality. I was never a Kobe fan, and I respect that mentality. The Giannis Antetokounmpo mentality. I'm going to play where I am. I'm going to land where I am. Bring the pieces to me. Whether you do or don't, I'm going to try to win a chip right here. Not too many players have that, bro. Russell Westbrook got that mentality, bro. All I'm saying is Zach LaVine, any other player that tried to avoid getting traded to Detroit, or any other weak team, low-seeded team, bottom-seeded team, you ain't got no real competitiveness to you. And I think all coaches should be looking at that. All GMs should be looking at that. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments, call into the show, 313-466-4386. We about to switch it up real quick if you don't mind. Talk about the NFL real quick. The Super Bowl this Sunday, February 11, 2024. The Chiefs against the 49ers. Still taking that hard as a Lions fan, pause. Not nothing that I wanted to necessarily admit or talk about, but I know I've been giving my predictions, but I don't really care. I don't really care. If I will be honest, I take Patrick Mahomes winning over Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and the 49ers. Because for one, they won against the Lions, my Lions. And for two, Patrick Mahomes a black quarterback, so I'm going to roll with that. And for three, the 49ers beat us. I think I said that already. I don't like the 49ers at this point. So, yeah, they can take the L. I'm not one of those people who be like, well, at least we lost to the champs. Nah, nigga, we was right there. So we could have been the champs. Yeah. That's so heartbreaking. All right, other than that, I want to speak on have you heard about the WNFC? What is that? That's the Women's National Football Conference. The Women's National Football Conference is the most advanced professional women's American football league in the United States. We exist to accelerate equity for women and girls in sports through the power of football. I respect it, right? I don't want to appear to be any type of misogynist, sexist whatsoever. That's not my intent. That's not what I want to be. And I'm prefacing this to say this. Why are women playing football? Why are you trying to play tackle football? Why? Yeah, I understand you probably have a passion for it. You love it. I get it. Nobody's saying you don't have a right to do it. But understand this. Do men really want to see women play football? Men want to see women in that comfortable women position. Not to sound sexist, but that's what men want to see for the most part. Now, it could be pure entertainment, which that's what it is. It's sports. I get it. It's entertainment. But don't be surprised when men ain't watching it. This is my thing with women's sports in general, right? Women's sports played by women, in some cases, most cases, coached by women. I believe, or in most cases, it should be also supported by women, right? Supported enough to the point where it succeeds, and you really don't have to worry about anybody else's support. But the fact that it does not succeed with that expectation, from my perspective, I believe y'all are reaching and wanting men's viewership. Women's sports is begging for men's viewership. And with that being said, take the criticism from men. If they say they want to see you in lingerie, maybe consider it, or you don't have to, or accept the fact that your sport will not get that man's viewership. Or if they're saying lower the rims in basketball, you might not want to do it, but lower the rims in the basketball. Or if they say we don't want to see women tackle, we want to see women play flag football. Let's stick with that. If it's going to get you the viewership that you desire from men, because clearly you're not getting it from the women big enough to get the support that you desire, that you want. That's from my perspective. That's what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments, call into the show. 313-466-4386. That was all that I actually had in regards to NFL. Last thing before we get up out of here, if you don't mind, I want to talk about this situation. U.S. labor official says Dartmouth basketball players are school employees. A National Labor Relations Board regional official ruled that Dartmouth basketball players are employees of the school, paving the way for a union election. The decision allows the players to negotiate not only salary, but also working conditions. Dartmouth plans to seek a review of the ruling, while the players see it as a significant step forward. The case is significant amid ongoing challenges to the NCAA's amateur athlete model, with implications for college athletes nationwide. This is crazy. So now, if you're playing sports for a college or a university, specifically Dartmouth at the time, you are considered an employee. I agree with the move. You are technically bringing revenue to that university. You are working as an employee. And that employer, as a result, may be compensating you in some type of way. Or at least they should. That's why I agree with this. Yes, college athletes should get paid. They should be considered as employees if they need to. Now, the thing about it is, that's going to come with, W-2s, taxes, all types of taxes they're going to be subject to now because of that. But they also get to negotiate working conditions like practice hours, practice, in general conditions at practice, health insurance, medical benefits, all of that type of stuff. All the traveling that they can negotiate that as employees. Now, the only thing I wish, maybe they should have been contracted employees, because they're going to come and go. They're here doing contracted work that you're hiring for. Employees, I don't necessarily get. Contracted employees or contractors, independent contract, that makes sense. That's what I believe that student athletes should be counted as from all these schools and paid from ass and pay their own taxes. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show 313-466-4386. I just want to see if I had anything else. And I don't think so. So we about to go ahead and get up out of here if you don't mind. Yeah. Thinking out loud real quick, man. Yeah, I get my thinking out loud thing real quick right here. So these people who say, I don't like humans. I don't get along with people. I'm not a people's person. I like my dog. I prefer my dog. We got to watch out for these type of people. I see they making commercials now to say, yeah, I got, you got dog food in the refrigerator. It's not dog food. It's just regular food just for my dog or just for Larry. You mean for your dog, Then they get mad. They put the person out. Here's my thing. It's a dog. It's a domestic animal. So we should treat it accordingly. Sitting up here making it seem like it's more valuable, more worthy than a human being who can conceptualize, think about things, rationalize things, reason. It's just plain crazy. And I think we need to take you to a psychiatric hospital if you're treating dogs and pets better than human beings. You really need to have your head checked. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. Before I get out of here, kick it with KCMC on all social media at KIWKCMC. That's kick it with KCMC, just the abbreviations on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all that at KIWKCMC. And show some love to my sponsor too, Team Elite. They on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also at Team Elite 313. That's TEAMELITE 313. That's Team Elite 313. Yeah, like I said, check out their premium urban wear, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, tech fleece, jogger sets, varsity sets, and more. It's all on their website, teamelite313.com. That's your mom, baby. Appreciate you for kicking with KC. If you got this far in the video, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, hit the share button. That's all for the free. If you got a couple dollars, donate to the show so we can grow. We appreciate that. Also, check out my singles, Juice and Hands and Knees, featuring my dog, Techmatic. It's all in the links in the description. Also, with the stories, man, we got those links too, man. Other than that, tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate you.